our code application and some clearance on the codes for the dishwasher install. We were fearful that it was going to be a fairly expensive project, which it looked like it's starting to back away a little bit. So everything's working out to our favor. So the dishwasher is at this point still moving forward for next year.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If it's we have a dishwasher there.
No, you don't. There is no dishwasher at Brown.
It's all disposable stuff.
Yeah, and then and then everything else is hand washed in a 3-bay sink. So there hasn't been one. Yeah, it's and
Yeah.
well, with the the number of kids that are coming on board, there's certainly a need for a dishwasher there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You bet. So there's also some security improvements. They're working with the director of the administration's services. They met with the Brown administration regarding some access control for doors, and we're working on that. There's also at Brown, continue on with Brown, the site work for the playground has gotten into the planning stages, and they've conducted their pre-bid walkthrough. They're waiting for contractors' bids to come in. Do you have any questions at this point on what's going on? Because I've got more to cover on Brown. Brown's our biggest project place right now. The art room refresh quote was finalized. The PO was issued in April. Work's going to start taking place in May. The exterior walk-in freezer is finalized. We are going to start in July. The exterior signage is being stored currently. All the signage is complete. It's being stored at the vendor site. They're going to do that again in June. The media center flooring is scheduled for June as well. The Brown pre-K room conversion, all the millwork was approved with the shop drawings. Both rooms have been cleared out and ready for construction. Abatement letters have been sent out. So the abatement's going to occur over April break to get all the tile, the asbestos tile out and anything that needs to come out of there prior to the construction. There has been they're going to try to do as much low level noisy or less noisy work during the school year to finish out, but that project will be done certainly for at the beginning of the school year. Interior signage and wayfaring. The proof was received from SignPro, and it's approved by the building administration, and it was signed by Ben at the beginning of March. It's ready for a June install. The Brown band room and adjacent offices refresh is fully completed. I think there's a small little bit of work to do and some punch list items, but that space has already been done. Any questions on Brown? What else we got? The hand rooftop units. Those are all parts have been ordered, and we're ready for a end of the year or beginning of the summer start for hand. Polson HVAC updates. We had a building committee meeting today. We're still waiting for some documents from Gilbane, but everything's on task at this point right now for pre-ordering all the equipment for next year start. That would be a start in June at 2026. Neck River Elementary continues to. I'm sorry.
On the HVAC.
Yes.
Because tomorrow is D-Day for our the tariff application across the board. Are we we're too late? Like we're going to get hit with higher costs, right?
We're not anticipating a lot of the tariffs are related to the steel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of steel that goes into the Polson project. Again, it's one of these things where we just can't rely on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make it work. However, we have to make it work at that point but again, the advantage being is that there is only some remote structural steel for the gymnasium area for the rooftop units on that, so it's minimal.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions on the Polson?
Yep. The HVAC, that's part of the package that allows that to be an emergency center as well.
That's correct. Yes. Yep. One of the biggest things to get in place prior to anything get started is actually get the generator on order, because it's a 1-year lead time on that. And what the generator is a whole building generator, so that will be the shelter for the town. You know, and yes, we will have full AC and heat in that building, and as well as I believe part of that project is also to investigate to get some of the showers redone in the locker rooms. There's two sets of locker rooms there that were, one's from the late 50s and early 60s, the other is from the 70s. I think we're choosing to do the 70s locker room because it's the most updated, and we can actually we can accommodate those lockers to be private stalls versus the large gang showers, because they're already kind of subdivided in that area.
The generator was already ordered.
Not yet. We have, well, we have 12 months for that. And so we will have that ordered. That the plan is to order that by, I believe, end of May, June at the latest of this year.
And why are we waiting to order it?
We're waiting for some documents from Gilbane. Neck River Elementary, going back to there, they're on time, on budget. We're scheduled for substantial completion by the end of May. If you have seen or gone by there, the entire really front half of the building is nearly complete. They've been starting to do a lot of the site work outside. There's some discussion about grasses and turf. We're working out some details on that. But other than that, everything's looking great. I mean, the building is coming along very, very nicely. District move updates. We have a meeting on Thursday with is a kind of a check-in with our company Myers with the move. Brown being the most important part of this whole move, because we have several people going from different directions out of Brown, whether it be to Neck River or to Polson, or coming into Brown. Ryerson is, we've kind of nicknamed as our purgatory placement, where we're going to be shipping things that we are not sure about what's going to happen with those, with the idea that when Ryerson does go for demolition, whatever is not been distributed, given away, reused, or it's targeted for disposal will go as part of the disposal package. So we have a 3-week move window starting in mid-June to the first week of July, where everything will be packaged up and spread out amongst those 3 areas. Neck River, that move coming in is handled by the contractors. So that would be Colliers. That's part of their responsibilities on that. Are there any questions on the move? The move is the biggest thing that we actually have coming up this summer. That is a very, very time-sensitive device.
Complicated.
It can,
process
yeah. So
because there's furniture moving all over the district, and no teacher really keeps their space. You know, every teacher pretty much moves, even if they're staying at Brown School, they're moving
from one room, one floor to another. And to give you an example, what's happening with the move to Neck River, a lot of the furniture is not coming for the classrooms until mid-July, maybe even the 1st of August. However, all of the boxes and stuff for the teachers will be moved to their classroom probably 2 weeks before that. So what we've designed out is we've taken the floor plan, and we're working on this right now. We've taken the floor plan for Neck River, and we're highlighting in blue the areas that we know are not going to have it, are not going to be impacted by where we store stuff there. The furniture can be put in around it. And so that's some of the stuff that we've got going on. There's also in the other schools, not to go too deep into this, but it's an important factor, where when we send things up to Brown, as we haul things out of the classroom, it's a wonderful opportunity for our custodians to go in there and clean it. However, the time frame is not looking friendly for that. So we're going to try to do as much as we can. When normally the custodians will come in, and my crew will go in there and they'll pull all the stuff out, and then they'll clean all the classrooms, and then they'll put it all back. They may be cleaning stuff out, helping the moving company doing that. That'll be empty, or it could be right the next day putting stuff back in, only to pull it all out again in August to do their cleaning. So it's going to be a really, really fine dance this summer.
And we know from our most recent move that our teachers have used up to 50 boxes, you know, so we're encouraging.
Good point.
Rolling out
Yes.
things, you know,
We have
several
dumpsters have been ordered, and it's time for the purge. But we do have 4,700 boxes coming in the 1st of May.
Yeah, I was trying to get a sense of, how much of this is contracted with professional movers and how much of this falls on custodial staff and, the team of our
Yep.
district.
About 90% professional movers. I've told the guys that, we're gonna be expected to do some moving, but the Myers is, they're really, really good at this. I've worked with them over at Stonington. And they have a very, very good system down. The whole goal is to never move something more than once. And but our guys are gonna be expected to help with some of the internal moves, and there's gonna be, there's no question that they're gonna have some responsibility there.
The teachers are packing up.
The teachers are packing all their own stuff, and we've made it abundantly clear. Because a lot of the elementary school teachers have their own personal furniture, like a rocking chair and stuff like that. We will not move any of that.
Right.
That's only district pieces are what we're moving.
We have provided some time, I think, for teachers to move, and I think for probably most cases, it would cover it. There's some extreme cases where teachers maybe have more stuff that it will take, some additional time, or they're a little bit more, slower with it, then, they might need some more time, but we are providing, significant amount of time on both sides in the calendar for teachers to move, and they have classroom para support to do some of that work for them as well.
I have a question
Yep.
regarding the Neck River.
Hmm.
Are we on budget or under budget?
I can't say we're under budget. I know that we are on budget. That's the term that they've been using in all the school-based building committees. We're
I
on
was wondering if
budget.
we were to at all come under budget, if we would be able to put back anything that was like value engineered out.
Well, that's a good question. I'll have to bring that, I can certainly bring that up in the building committee meeting.
And then like if things would be like too late to do that, like we had
There's-
to remove the heated flooring.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is done. It's gonna be minimal. A lot of the stuff would be like furniture based if they were able to put any of that kind of stuff back in, because we actually ran into a little bit of an issue with a change that might have occurred. And it's incredible to think about what the daisy chain effect is down the line. For example, just simply, there was a talk about removing a door and moving it to another spot. And now changing that one room from what was originally planned to be to another room, all of a sudden was like, okay, what do we do with the whiteboard? What do we do with the furniture that's not gonna fit in that room to the other room? So those are the things that you get impacted along the line. So it was a change that was very well thought out before we even initiated it. And that was just like almost a small closet room. So those are the examples that we're at right now, because it's so close to being done.
Or to where we move some cabinetry lower in certain grade levels, and that as well at a higher cost than I think we would have expected, but it makes sense once we saw all the work that needed to happen.
Yep.
With that, we were talking, and we'd be able to bring this up next meeting, because we'll have plenty of time, but we're probably looking, as Pete said, with some of the things not coming until July, like a ribbon cutting in August at some point, that we would look at that. So we'll start planning that, so we'll be working with Pete and his team and Gilbane, and be sharing that as soon as we can, with board members on dates that we're looking at. And we get some guidance from Tecton and Gilbane on recent projects and how that's worked and things like that, because it's been a little while. Yeah.
Will there be time when the project is completed before school starts for like community to tour it? Or-
That's what we're hoping, yeah, that we'd be able to have plenty of time to have it in good shape, and then have people.
Finished.
Yeah, yes, because I know elementary teachers start coming in sometimes August 1st, so I know they'll be anxious, especially given a move to a place, to get into their classrooms as soon as possible.
And then I know that there was some talk in the public, not related to the new facilities, but to the buildings that are being vacated, whether or not there would be an opportunity for the public to sort of say goodbye.
So that will be harder, because as Pete said, for Ryerson, we will be moving stuff there. I think there could be, once it's town owned,
Maybe
once
like
we're
after
out of-
January, when
Yeah,
everything is
right.
emptied.
I think there could
before
be
demolition.
certainly that opportunity there.
Yeah, there's no demo of any buildings that'll be occurring for at least 6 months.
Right,
So there's
But there could be an
probably more like
opportunity.
a year, I mean, by the time everything gets settled down.
so maybe like next summer,
Right, yeah, I think that we would have pretty
Like
much
Jeffrey
everything
and
out of there
Ryerson.
most likely and, yeah.
But each school is doing something, I imagine, like end of the school year, Ryerson celebration or something. Probably for the.
Yeah, so yes,
there.
yeah, there's lots of celebrations there too.
each
Yeah.
one like
Right,
TCLC,
right,
Jeffrey,
yeah,
Ryerson.
Yeah, yeah.
Like current students.
Yeah, those are built into the calendar.
Yeah, great.
Any other questions?
What's, yep, before anyone can go in the building, you have to have a certificate of occupancy, right?
So
What's-
after
What's
we
the
get,
process for that?
so once we get the substantial completion, that qualifies us to get our certificate of occupancy for the building. Then all of a sudden, it becomes okay for teachers, staff, administration to be in that building without supervised person from Gilbane coming through. Because up until that point, Gilbane owns the site.
I think some of the board members might appreciate having another tour at
Sure.
some point, like when it's predominantly finished.
That's very easy to do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we hit a milestone today.
Yeah.
The Eversource meter was now put into our main, so officially, we are now the Neck River Elementary School at 180 Mungertown Road. And we get to pay, well, we don't get to pay the bills yet, but what it is,
We're
it
not
is
even on
now,
the map until the
it is now,
utility
yeah,
company.
it is a
does.
registered utility, so. Okay.
Thank you.
That's it for our agenda items. We now have time for public comment. Do we have any folks online? Is anyone in public would like to speak at this time? In person? All right, seeing nothing else, we will adjourn at 6:50.